Hey, so I gave you one of these little backpacking stoves a long time ago, and I don't know if you ever used it, but it's one of these wood burning portable stoves, and I really hope you get the chance to use it. The downside to these is that you have to kind of pretty much have your fuel ready to go because it burns pretty fast, but it burns hot. And so I'll show you how long it takes to boil a pretty significant pot of water, but you're able to do a lot with these little guys, and I hope you have a chance to use them someday. So I just kind of pulled out some of the thinner sticks. Obviously you don't want to start with the biggest chunks, and some tissue paper, and then I'm going to light the tissue paper, throw the sticks on there, and get a fire going. I'll probably put too much fuel in there. I might start. We'll try. Nope, it's flaming. It'll probably work. Alright, so it did work. We got a nice little fire going. I'll just fuel it, and then we're going to put 48 ounces of water in that pot right there and get some water boiling for mac and cheese and hot dogs. I'm going to start putting some bigger chunks in there to keep going. It does burn a lot of fuel though. You got to have a bunch of twigs ready to keep feeding it. We're going to use all 48 ounces just because I'm curious to see how long it'd take. It's a pretty good sized pot, a lot of the way up. We just set it right on top and get it going. I'm going to time it. So 7 minutes in, we're still cooking, but you start to see it start to bubble down there. And I still have lots of fuel left over, and there's my little handmade spork that I made when I was bored at work one day. It kind of hurts to eat with, but it's a good stirring spoon. But now I will say one of the downsides to these stoves is that you have to kind of wait for it to cool off, to pour out the ash, and to put it away and whatnot. Another downside is that you really have to look for good fuel, dry tinder. I'm sure once you get everything hot enough, then it'll start to boil. Once you get the coals inside hot enough, it'll burn a little bit moist fuel, but I mean, you really have to like look under the logs and dig up some nice dry twigs. But you know, I've used branches, you know, dead branches and whatnot. I'm at home, so I had kindling to cut up, but branches work just as well, limbs and twigs. You just got to have quite a bit, and that's another downfall, is that it's not as easy as turning on and off a stove or Instapot or whatever they call them. This particular stove I really like because it has a side feeding port. Unlike the one that I gave you, you have to take the pot off to feed, but this one you can just shove there in the side, and that way you don't have to deal with taking the pot on and off. But either way, I mean, if you just have to take the pot off for a second to throw some more twigs in there, that's no big deal. Okay, so it took 22 minutes. 22 minutes in to boil 48 ounces of water, which is probably not as much as you're going to use out on the trail, but I think a full pot would take even longer, obviously, but it's possible as long as you have the fuel. Definitely doable, and for when you don't have to pack the fuel, which is nice. But 22 minutes for 48 ounces. Some bitch. Well, there it is. I think it's worth trying out. It works relatively good if you're on top of the top of everything. But yeah. So inconvenient a little bit, only because you have to babysit it a little bit. But lighter, definitely. Yeah. So I hope you use it at least once or twice, or even if you're just car camping and just whip it out and fry some taters on it or something. But just that's it. Okay, bye.